less so on the physical level and more so on an emotional and spiritual level. I mean, I used to operate in a pretty heightened sense of anxiety. Life was just, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And I've got to say, all of that is just noise. The noise level has just diminished. Removing the clutter, removing the noise, focusing on what's important, losing that anxiety, that symptom of anxiety, which is narrow binding, just went away naturally.
Hey, Jurgen, thanks so much for coming and spending time with me today.
Thanks, Tracy. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you.
You too. I really love that background you have there, by the way. Super cool.
Thank you. It's an inspiration of Einstein's work and unified physics, and we've been following that whole quantum physics space for 20 plus years. So, been pretty well immersed in it. And this is a reminder of where we've come from and what we're immersed in right now.
Very cool. I love it. So can we start off with a little bit of health history about how your health was before coming to QHS?
Yeah, sure. I'm generally a pretty healthy guy, generally. And no particular, nothing that I would ever see a physician for. I think I've had 2 or 3 operations in my life. Once when I was 4, had my tonsils out. I had a hernia, so I had a naval hernia repaired 15 years ago. Apart from that, I'm pretty stoic as it comes to health. Got good genetics. But, as you get on a little bit towards the middle-age years, things start to just not heal as well as they used to heal. I had a skiing accident, 2 skiing accidents back to back in New Zealand a few years ago, 2016. And I really face planted very hard, got whiplash. And I literally had to stop skiing that day. And I was in extraordinary pain, shoulder pain, really nasty. And every time I brush Deb's hair, it's like click the shoulder, click, 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 click. But
wait, did you say brushed Deb's hair?
Yeah. I'm Deb's. You'll interview Deb and you'll hear all about it. But I'm basically Deb's mobility challenged. So my focus is really
okay. I just thought you were a doting husband, and I'm like, gosh, my husband has never brushed my hair.
I am that too. Look at your hair. That'd take forever to brush. But so I'm a full-time carer. So my health focus is really making sure I'm okay so that I'm able to look after her. If I can't do that, I think we're both in a world of hurt. She's definitely in a world of hurt. But it's so I'm really haven't been looking for any solutions out there for myself.
Okay.
That's just not the space I've been in. We have, however, been looking for what's going to heal her and give her a better quality of life. And by doing that, my quality of life will improve too. So I guess I'm a second order health effect. So I picked up the device and, Deb was just all over it. She said, I think this might be the thing I've been looking for a year ago. And I'm like, okay, let's give it a whirl. And I put it on and it's not doing anything for me. Never felt anything. Occasionally at night when I put the device under my pillow, I'd start to feel my hands and feet get hot and just throb for a little while. And that was kind of funky. And, and it's like, okay, but the dreams, Tracy, I kid you not, the quality and depth of dreaming has just gone off the charts. I used to really hang out as a kid to go to sleep because growing up wasn't very pleasant in my household. And so escaping reality in the dream world was really a wonderful place, to go until the nightmares hit. But yeah, and I mean, people who have PTSD describe this all the time, recurring nightmares. But they stopped years and years and years ago. Done a lot of work, basically looking at clearing what's going on for me, clearing the emotional blocks, and just stepping up and forgiving and moving on.
Mm-hmm.
So ailments aren't that significant, I mean, for guys, I guess the prostate issue starting to loom as something that hey, that doesn't feel quite right at the moment, and I really like that resolved. But nothing
Yeah.
that I'd go and see a physician for. Everything
Okay.
seems to be functioning okay. And little aches and pains as you get older, you kind of live with. That's the potted history. I'm sorry. I apologize that it's not, all singing and all dancing and all, holy moly, this is a really great before picture.
No, everybody has their own story. There's no
Yeah.
judgment there. So
Yeah.
did you notice anything else when you got the device besides better dreams or more?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. For me, things have happened less so on the physical level and more so on an emotional and spiritual level. I mean, I used to operate in a pretty heightened sense of anxiety. Life was just, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And I've got to say, all of that is just noise at the moment. And I'm just present. I'm in the moment. I deal with what's in front of me to the best of my ability. And then I move on to the next thing. And if priorities change, we juggle, reprioritize, and we move on. So there's a real calmness in life. It's like, okay, I've just got rid of all the external noise. I got my
Nice.
phone, I discovered a feature that if the caller doesn't have a caller ID or it's not somebody I know, the phone doesn't even ring. It doesn't ring. So I don't get interrupted by any of that nonsense. And then I turned off voicemail, which is helpful
Wow.
on my private phone. So now the noise level has just diminished to somebody wants to reach me, they know how to reach me. They can text and send an email if I know them, right? And if I know them, they're in my phone and we can converse. So it's just removing the clutter, removing the noise, focusing on what's important, and having a calmness about that. I
Yeah.
was a chronic nail biter for ever since I can remember. I cannot remember ever not biting nails. And it stopped.
Nice. So that nervous habit went away.
Just because of the anxiety, losing that anxiety, that symptom of anxiety, which is nail biting, just went away naturally because we dealt with the cause. Okay. The cause was anxiety. Once
Right.
that anxiety resolved, that dropped away. So
Beautiful.
from that perspective, knowing that whatever life throws up, I can deal with, is a really, really empowering space to stand in. So I don't get overwhelmed anymore.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's good. So you're just more living in the moment, more present,
Yeah.
out of your head into your heart. That's what it sounds like.
Exactly. Yeah, that's beautifully paraphrased. And when you're in your heart space, I find that it doesn't matter who I meet, I can meet them on that level, embrace their humanity, see them for the divine being that they are. And the minute you stand in that space, it's extraordinary that people actually lift themselves up to exactly that same space. And the quality of my interactions, even with people I've never ever met or met for the first time, is extraordinary. It
That's
truly
beautiful.
is extraordinary. Yeah. So that's nothing physical. This is all happening on that emotional and spiritual level.
That's actually what my goal is, really, truly, like, to develop that better intuition and connection, as well as releasing any of the emotional, like, trauma from the past.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to. I just actually, whoops, that's not even my device. I had this frequency blocker on the back of my cell phone and my computer. And I just took it off this weekend because I was told that's blocking the wave. And I'm like, well, holy cow, like, that needs to be on the instruction book because I have those stickers everywhere.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's one of my big things. So I love that. Well, and then next we get to talk about what's to come, right? We get this do-over where our bodies are going to be renewed, but our experiences, our vault of knowledge and wisdom is going to be intact. So what excites you about that, Jurgen?
Oh, well, given Deb and I are both going through, and as I said earlier, Deb and I have been married 26 years in March this year, and I've watched a vibrant woman just progressively decline physically to the point where there's a loss of her independence, and it's been really, there's no massive step change in that. It's just this gradual erosion over time, and it's just been really heart-wrenching to watch that. At the same time, what keeps me going is the strength of her spirit and the way that she continues to focus on humanity rather than herself. As you know, and I think that spirit of generosity and generosity of spirit, if you like, keeps her going. And to see that strength in her, I have no right to complain about anything. So I just get on with it. And I'm in awe. In fact, she runs rings around me, even though she's barely mobile. And as a metaphor, I'm just shuddering to think when she's well, post this QARC experience, what's possible. And I'm going to really have to lift my game because I'm struggling to keep it right now. So I'm glad I'm getting a do-over as well. So I just, what's possible. I think we've got so many projects that are just really waiting for that resource availability and wellness, that collective wellness, so that everything, we literally drop everything and reimagine the rest of our lives in terms of our humanitarian projects. So, and having the energy and wellness to be able to embrace those is going to be amazing, absolutely amazing. I used to get tired a lot and want to have an afternoon nap, and then the night's sleep was awful. For the last 12 months, one time, we've been working 14-hour days, 7 days a week for the last 6 weeks we're just in an extraordinary phase of our business, and we knew this was going to happen. But on the weekend, we got to a point where I just said, I just need a little lie down for the first time in a year. So having that energy and vitality. And I said to Deb on the weekend, I said, when we go to the QARC, I might ask Dr. Ray, you know that saying that you only use 10% of your brain capacity?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask Dr. Ray just to crank it up a little. Maybe 20%. And Deb said, I'll just go for 15. Because I just want to have that experience of a being as though we're designed to be. We were designed a certain way. I hear this concept of, it's your genetics, you're predisposed to things. That's
Mm.
or you can't do certain things. Well, I don't buy into that. I don't buy into the genetics argument. I don't buy into the junk DNA argument. When I look at nature, and I'm a natural scientist, I don't see anything that's junk out there. Everything is purpose designed, intelligently designed. It's fit for purpose. We are too, but something's happened to us through the course of history where things have been dialed down, dumbed down, turned off. This game's been going on for too long. I want those switches turned back on.
Mm-hmm.
And
Me too.
then look out, okay? Look out what we're capable of, not only individually, but collectively. We can see what's already transpired collectively with the QHS movement. And the majority of people are bringing their heart and volunteering. I know Deb and I are. We're not in this for any money. We're in this because it's the right thing to do for humanity right now. And we're so proud to be a part of it. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
What's not to like?
Exactly.
Transforming wellness on the planet, healing humanity. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, really.
It's so exciting to be a trailblazer, and somebody said to me, well, are we going to be able to advertise like our healing centers? I've said, you think you're going to need to advertise once our documentary from Utah is released with all of our before and afters? We're going to have a security guard keeping people out rather than a flag waving people in. I mean,
totally.
it's going to be wonderful. But yeah, it's amazing that we get to be at the ground floor of this and look at what's happened already. I mean, the interviews of people and their ginormous responses just with the handheld device. I can't wait to see what the home health system does. And we are just, a stone's throw away from that proof of concept study coming to fruition.
Oh, we're super excited. And I like the analogy about the advertising. In our business, we don't advertise. We haven't advertised since 2019.
Oh, cool. That's lovely.
Yeah, the plague kind of upset everything in supply chain. So the reason we stopped was we didn't have the supply availability. So we were supply constrained. And we kept going and kept going and kept going. And these days, it's word of mouth. You do the right thing for people and you operate in the right heart space and you're solution focused and like everything else starts to flow. It just flows. Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Yeah. That's my husband's business too. He's never advertised. Right. And everything's just referral and he likes it that way. He doesn't want people to call him from the yellow pages and then,
exactly,
it not being a strong referral. So that's good for you. So if you were just to nail it down to one thing that you were the most excited about for your future, Jurgen, like what are you really excited to do when you have a healthy wife, you're healthy? What's next for you? What do you want?
What do I want? I think what we'd like to do is bring our humanitarian projects to fruition. And we've been in the quantum space for 2 decades. So when we came across Dr. A and that whole healing bed space that we'd heard about through other channels and thought was, so far away, it wasn't funny. And then we came across Cynthia. It was like, can this be real? All this other narrative out there says, no, it's not. And yeah, it is. So knowing that technology is there and knowing that it's safe to bring to the world, we've been sitting on similar principle technology. We're in touch with a guy who understands the quantum world as it comes to water, and unlike any other person on the planet. So when you can restore water to the manner that the creator intended water to be, which is it's life-giving, it's the blood of the planet. Restoring the blood of the planet to health, which is water, is one of our key projects, key pillars. And we pitched recently to clean up the water that is going to be discharged from the Fukushima nuclear reactor in Japan, because we feel that the technology that we're sitting on has the capability to neutralize the radioactivity from that water.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and to do that from a all of the treatment so far has been dealt with chemistry. Right? It's just similar to the health space. It's pharmacological space. It's chemical, and we're moving to a frequency base for medicine. Frequency is the future of medicine. Frequency is the future of humanity.
Right.
If we don't embrace frequency technology and we keep going down the path we're going down, we are really headed to oblivion. And I'm not a doomsayer or a doomsday person. I think that humanity, where there's hope and where there's a will and where people collaborate from a heart-centered spirit base for a cause that just is crying out to be carried forward, then that's going to happen. And we feel that the QHS movement is aligned with that. Frequency is the future of medicine, and we're completely aligned with that. We also feel that frequency, when it comes to treating water, healing the planet's rivers, water systems, oceans, cleaning that up, then will restore the ecosystem, which is the biosphere that we're living in.
Oh, yeah.
And enrich life for all of us that are dwelling in this realm.
Mm-hmm. And it's important for our own bodies. I mean, we are water beings and we have a water planet. So water is foundational to everything. So I'm totally on board with that. Now, if I could just figure out how to get rid of the black algae in my swimming pool without chemicals, I'd be really happy. No joke. Super serious.
Okay. Black algae, you said.
Black algae. I have no idea how it got there. And my pool guy said somebody must have been in a lake and then come into your pool. I'm like, no, nobody's been in a lake and come into my pool. I mean, I'm the only one who uses my pool really. And there's a black algae in there. And last year I let him use a ton of chemicals, but this year I'm like, I don't want those in my body. So we've got to figure out a solution.
Okay, well, we'll have an offline chat about that, because my last corporate job was we were in the algae business.
Wow, how lucky did I just get?
Cultivating algae for using algae for bioremediation of water, because algae take nutrients out of water, and nutrients. For instance, agricultural runoff has nutrients in it. Waste from cattle, and all sorts of effluent from agriculture, fertilizers, excess fertilizers. What algae does is removes those and brings things back to where they need to be. So yeah, I'm all over algae. We'll have a chat after this on that.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm really looking forward to talking to your beautiful wife now, because I'm dying to know what her story is. So then I can match everything up together. So I love seeing you guys with your kangaroos in your backyard, and I'm looking forward to coming to your country very soon.
We can't wait to host you, Tracy. Love to have you. Those roos around every morning and every evening they pop in. Deb calls them her family, and it's just such a delight to live where we do and to be blessed with them as neighbors.
Cool. Well, Jurgen, thank you so much for spending some time with me today and sharing your awesome story. And I love the love story I'm hearing from you. And I am so excited. Next time for part 2, I want you both on at the same time.
That'll be a lot of fun, Tracy. You're doing a wonderful, wonderful job. You're a blessing to all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my darling. Until next time.